only income, Your Honor,
Okay.
the only income or the cash that ABS-CBN Holdings receive is the dividends
We
from
know that. We know that.
ABS-CBN
We know that.
shares.
Kaya ang tatanong na lamang sana kung pwede namang answerable by yes or no, pakisagot na lang ng yes. Don't explain
po.
anymore because we have limited time. Kaya ang tanong ko lang, walang income. Walang binabayad na income tax. Yes or no?
Wala
Yes.
po.
Although wala kayong income na binabayad, walang net income ang ABS-CBN, ang holding company, pero meron kayong net loss.
Opo.
Okay. So ito lamang ang kumpanya, may net loss, pero walang net income. Well, anyway, I have made a comparison of your financial statements which you have submitted. Pwede ba yung unang slide? The comparative figures of the balance sheet for the year ending December 31, 2000. Okay. So, ayan ang ating assets. Ang cash natin at December 31, meron na tayong 2,062,42. At the end of 1999, 10,000 pesos. O, saan ang galing yung cash na 2,042,000?
Galing po sa Your Honor, galing po sa dividends received from ABS-CBN for the shares that ABS-CBN Holdings own.
So, nagkaroon na ng stock dividend declaration noong year 2001.
Cash dividends po.
O nga, cash dividend. How many hundreds of millions?
I'll get back to you, sir, for the amount.
Oy. $106,354,153. Tama ba yun, Miss Accountant?
Apo, Your Honor, the dividend income that we received in 2000 is 108,679,903.
How much per share?
Dali lang po. So that's about 51 centavos per share po.
Okay, 51 centavos per share. Okay, sa BIR naman, whenever there is a transfer of the share of stock from one corporation to another entity, are there taxes to be paid?
Dumadaan po siya sa Philippine Stock Exchange, so may transaction tax po siya.
Ha?
May transaction tax po siya.
May transaction tax. And
Yes,
how much is
Your
the
Honor.
transaction tax? May we ask the BIR?
Percentage lang po yan, percentage.
Ha?
Percentage, what is the transaction tax
We want to know,
percentage?
Mr. Chairman, from the BIR.
BIR?
Your Honor, may we ask that Attorney Benedict Togonon be recognized in Zoom? Answer that
Yes, that's
question.
fine, but I think the Honorable Barsaga would like to have the official statement from the BIR. So may we ask the BIR, how much is the transaction tax for the transfer of shares?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Honors, Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
If the transaction was coursed through the Philippine Stock Exchange, the tax rate, generally speaking, the tax rate is 1/2 of 1%.
1/2 of 1%.
Yes, Your Honor.
Of the purchase price, Assistant Commissioner.
Yes, Your Honor.
So kung ang purchase price is 46 billion, 1/2 of 1% would be approximately 2,300,000,000. Tama ba yun?
Around that figure, Your Honor.
Ha?
Around that figure, 1% divided by 2, Your Honor. 1/2 of 1%.
Okay, 1/2 of 1% of 46 billion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Does the accountant of the holding company confirm the statement of our Honorable Assistant Commissioner?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Sino ang nagbabayad ng tax? Will it be ABS Holding Company or the PDR holder?
The investee po, which is the PDR holders.
The PDR holder. Are you sure about that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Documentary, wala na.
Nandun na yun eh. Pag ang DST po binabayaran pag nag-issue po ng shares of stocks.
Documentary stamp tax, walang bayad.
Wala po.
Transfer of shares of stocks.
Meron.
Nandun po sa lahat po ng tax is forced through the stock exchange po.
Hindi nga, kaya ang tanong ko lamang, nagbabayad ba? I'll refer the question to our very knowledgeable and authoritative Assistant Commissioner. Meron bang binabayad na documentary stamp tax sa transfer ng shares of stocks?
Yes, Your Honor. The moment a new share of stock is issued to the new shareholder, the documentary stamps or strip stamp, that we called it, must be paid.
Magkano naman, Assistant Commissioner?
At that time, Your Honor, it's 1 peso for every 200. But now, because of the train law, it is doubled.
Double.
2 pesos.
So we would like to look into that payment because the shares of stocks of ABS-CBN has been the subject of various transfers. Most especially, Attorney Quezon, alam naman natin na yung PDR holder ay merong opsyong bilhin ang shares of stock. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor.
That's right. And therefore, for that transaction, there should be the payment, tax payment for every transaction, not to mention na meron tayong documentary stamp tax which is equivalent to 10 centavos per
1 peso for every 200, Your Honor.
1 peso for
During that
every
time, during that
200
time.
pesos. And that would amount to 0.5 to 1 peso.
Yes, Your Honor. Approximately 1 peso.
For
Yeah,
every
yes, Your
200.
Honor.
Unless the transfer was made in Hong Kong where the BIR laws are not applicable.
Agree,
That
Your
should
Honor.
still be.
Wala naman transfer siguro sa Hong Kong.
Wala
May
akong
ginawa
transfer.
kayo. All in the Philippines.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Would the BIR can present the records?
Your Honor, if the transaction was coursed through the Philippine Stock Exchange, we don't have a copy of that, Your Honor.
What about the holding company?
Mr. Chairman, we don't have the records as far back as
You don't have
1999.
a record.
The 1999 records, so wala na ho kaming records ng 1999.
And what is your earliest record? What year? Kung wala ng 1999.
I'd like to refer that to Ms. Caimon.
ABS-CBN Holdings.
Your Honor, the available documents that we have is 2010 onwards po.
1,000
2010 po.
onwards.
Opo.
Because you are applying the 10-year prescriptive period.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, yun na
Your
lamang
Honor,
Will
the
you-
DST po kasi, the documents on that, sabi po ni Commissioner, is left with the Philippine Stock Exchange. So, if you want to look at the records, it is kept in Philippine Stock Exchange po.
Yes, we know that. But the trouble is that, are you willing to waive your confidentiality? Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
At pangalawa, hindi ba obligasyon ng isang malaking taxpayer na katulad nyo, as a matter of fact, awardly pa kayo eh. Hindi ba dapat na tinitingnan nyo whether the taxes due the government pertaining to the transfer of pure shares of stock ay talagang hawak nyo? So you don't have any record to confirm whether or not the transaction tax as well as the documentary stamp tax had been paid. Tama ba yun, Miss Accountant?
Opo.
Eh kung magre-review ang BIR ng inyong financial statements at hinanap sa inyo yung tax record ng transaction tax, di wala kayong maipapakita.
Prescribed na po kasi, so subject na siya.
Hindi nga 2010 upwards, kaya niyong ibigay.
Okay po.
Okay, you submit it. How long? Ganong katagal?
Hahanapin po sa offsite, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's go to the second slide. Balance sheet for the year 1999. Pakibaba ng konti para makita yung caption. Pwede bang pakilakihan? Okay, okay na yan siguro. Hindi lumalabas yung isang portion at saka yung difference. Then we have the difference. Okay. Itong balance sheet, Miss Accountant, nagsabit kayo rito ng balance sheet as of December 31, 1999. At noong year 2000, nagsabit din kayo ng balance sheet comparative for the year 2000 and balance sheet December 31, 1999. Ang pinagtataka ko lamang sa aking examination ay bakit iba ang figures ng December 31, 1999 na inyong sinabit at iba ang figures ng balance sheet for December 31, 1999 na nasa inyong comparative statement. O katulad noong cash, pareho, 10,000. December 31, 1999. Pero pagdating na sa, anong second? I look over here my financial statement, which you have submitted. Investment in ABS-CBN shares, 6,072,000,000, December 31. Pagdating na ng December ng inyong comparative statement, ng December 31, 1999, mukhang iba na ang figure. Naging 9,574,186,975. Iba na. Pero they refer to the same date and to the same account name. Pagdating ng Philippine Depository Receipts, 6,058,800,000, December 31, 1999. Sa comparative statement naman, December 31, 1999, 9,552,951. Kaya may discrepancy. Sa deferred income, 13,200,000. December 31, 1999. Doon naman sa comparative 1999, instead na 13,200,000, ang deferred income nyo ay naging 21,235,000. Due to affiliate 1999, wala. Pagdating sa comparative, meron ng 21 million. Pagkatapos, ang total liabilities and stockholders' equity, 6,072,000,000, 10 pesos, 10,000 sa December 31, 1999. Pero sa comparative, ang nakalagay na ay 9,574,196,975. Eh, ang sabi nyo kanina, you attest to the truth and veracity of all the statements, financial statements na binigay nyo. Bakit magkaiba? Ang balance sheet for December 31, 1999, based on the financial statements na sinabi nyo rito.
Your Honor,
Go ahead.
if you look at the financials in 2000 po, there were other expenses that were not booked and restated in 2000 financials. So if you look at the notes to FS in number 3 po, note number 3, the PDRs po, there are movements in the PDRs or issuance of PDRs of about 80 million shares in exchange for PDRs.
Simple lamang ang tanong ko. Meron kayong balance sheet na pinresent sa amin. Yung unang balance sheet, dated December 31, 1999. Binigyan nyo kami ng kopya rito. Pagkatapos ng year 2000, binigyan nyo kami ng balance sheet. And of course, meron na tayong comparative statement. Kasi noong 1999, noong lamang kayo nagsimula ng operation, we expect na walang comparative statement noong 1999 sapagkat wala pa kayong operation ng 1998. Normally, kaya nga nilagay ko yan sa ilalim. Wala na lang akong kopya kasi nagmamadali ako. Normally, since they have the same account name and they cover the balance sheet accounts for the same year, for the same date, December 31, 1999, dapat pareho. Bakit magkaiba? At kung sila ay magkaiba, one is not correct and the other one is correct. Or perhaps both of them are not correct. But definitely, hindi sila pwedeng pareho tama. Yun lamang ang tanong ko, bakit magkaiba?
Yun nga po.
Kahit na ano explanation nyo yan, dapat kung ano figure sa balance sheet, yun ang tama. Can you explain, Ms. Accountant?
Your Honor, the financial statement was subjected to audit. So there are expenses that were incurred, booked or recorded in 2000 that's supposed to be accrued in 2009. That's why
Paano pakiulit? What method of accounting are you using? Are you using the cash accounting method or the accrual method?
accrual method po.
Accrual method. So in other words, the liability or the asset is reflected in the statement on the year where the income was earned although it was not realized. Tama ba o hindi?
Tama po.
Accrual. Sa cash naman, even if you incurred an expense, as long as you have not paid it, it will not be considered an expense and it will be considered as an expense only when payment has been made. Kung meron kang expense ng 1999, hindi mo binayaran ng 1999, binayaran mo ng 2001, after 2 years, na mo lamang ikaw consider yung expense. Tama, under the cash accounting. Pag accrual, income earned in 1999, although not earned, ay i-declare mo na sa 1999. Tama po ba?
Tama
So
po.
what is your explanation?
Yun nga po. There are late charges that were given to ABS-CBN Holdings that pertains to 2009. That's why in 2010 financial statement.
No, 2000 lang tayo tsaka 1999.
Apo. Kino-compare niyo po kasi yung 2009 sa 2000.
There were expenses
So,
incurred.
2000 po, ni-restate po yung balances as of December 2009 to 1999 to reflect all the expenses incurred in relation to the PDR issuance po.
Nagkakaintindihan naman tayo eh. Accountant ka naman eh. Ako, simple bookkeeping. Pag sinabi nating expenses, alam mo naman, it will not be reflected in the balance sheet. it will be reflected in the profit and loss statement. Tama ba yun?
Tama po.
Oh.
Pero tinignan nyo po, nandun po siya, yung liability is recognized. That's why you have a due to...
Hindi nga, tinignan ko itong dokumento nyo eh, oh. Ito naman eh. Kaya, pwede ba? Okay. Ito yung 1999 nyo. Malinaw ang nakalagay. Well, we can have a simple recess.
Mr.
If
Chairman.
the source persons of ABS-CBN cannot listen to our discussion.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
may I be recognized? I think the explanation there is that the balance sheet was restated in 2000, and the 1999 the financial statements that were submitted were not.
Ito ang 1999.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
It was not audited, the 1999
ito.
balance sheet.
Balance sheet 1999.
Yes, that balance sheet was not audited.
Was?
That was not audited. That was the first year that of operations of
Oo nga. Ang tinanong ko nga kanina, yung ba mga dokumento nyo rito, authentic ba to? It is possible that this is authentic and true even if it is not audited.
Yes, Your Honor.
Bakit kayo magsasubmit sa amin ng hindi audited financial
But
statement?
the next year, it was audited and restated.
Pero ang pinag-uusapan natin dito, 6 billion investment pagkatapos hindi audited. Does the Bureau of Internal Revenue under the National Internal Revenue Code does not require if your total capital is 6,072,000, 72,010,000 pesos, the balance sheet as well as the profit and loss statement should be audited. Oh,
Honorable Barsaga, would you like the BIR to respond?
ah?
BIR, you would like them to reply?
Yes.
Yes, BIR is recognized.
Bureau of Internal Revenue. Pag ang total assets ba at liability, ang total equity is 6,072,010,000 pesos, must the financial statements be audited or not?
It must be audited, Your Honor.
Or it must be audited. So my
Your
next
Honor,
question is, does the holding company have an audited financial statement for the year ending December 31, 1999? No. The holding company, the accountant.
ABS-CBN Holdings.
We don't have po.
You don't have. What about profit and loss statement? Did you prepare any profit and loss statement for the year 1999? Meron ba? Holding company?
Yes, Your Honor. It
Yes.
was submitted to BIR po.
Ah?
Sinabit po sa BIR.
Do you have a copy of that?
We look for the documents that has a stamp received by BIR.
Pero ang problema natin, yun naman sinabit yung dokumento rito sa amin, nalito na kami kahahanap sa USB, walang profit and loss statement for the 9-month period ending December 31, 1999. So if there is a profit and loss statement na pinail nyo sa Bureau of Internal Revenue, ang susunod kong tanong, bakit kami hindi binigyan ng kopya? Can you answer for that?
Yung 2009 po kasi,
Hindi, yung 2009. 1999 ang pinag-uusapan natin.
99 po, sorry. Yung 2009 po kasi is interim financial po. So, subsequent to that, it's a full year that has to be audited. That's why the auditor found out that there are expenses that has to be accrued in
Hindi na.
2009.
I cut you short kasi
They
chat niyo po sa akin
financial
ang sagot ko.
statements.
Simple lang ang tanong ko. Unang tanong, nag-file ba kayo ng balance sheet sa Bureau of Internal Revenue noong 1999? Ang sagot mo,
Opo.
hindi. Hindi. You answered no. That's why I asked, nag-file kayo, pero ang sagot ng inyong corporate secretary, it is not audited. Kaya ang tanong ko sa BIR, should it be audited? Ang sabi ng BIR, yes. Next question, nag-file ba kayo ng profit and loss statement sa Bureau of Internal Revenue for the year ending December 31, 1999? Yes or no?
We'll have to check po.
Eh kasi ang problema, nagbigay kayo ng balance sheet. Hirap na hirap kami sa hanap ng profit and loss. Hindi nyo naman binigay. Eh sa mga accountant naman, alam nila, basic financial statement, you just submit the balance sheet and profit and loss statement. And we're dealing with a very big corporation. Yun lamang ang aming ano rito. At the start of my interpellation, I requested you to look at the balance sheet of the holding company from 1999 up to the present. Sinabit nyo lahat yan. Tinignan mo na ba kung magkano ang pinakamataas na cash na nasa balance sheet ng holding company? Wala. Kung 100 milyon, kung 500 milyon, kung 1 bilyon. Wala.
Wala pong 100 million.
Ha? Walang?
The 2016 shows that the cash and cash equivalents of ABS-CBN Holdings or 2018 is 18,852,659.
18 million. In spite of the fact na PDRs ng issue ng holding company would amount to billions of pesos. Kaya doon lamang kami nagtataka kung bakit ganoon ang cash position ng holding company. Well, I think I have to stop. Kasi Mr. Chairman, I requested also the BIR, si Assistant Commissioner, siguro kulang ang oras para isubmit sa amin. Number 1.
Honorable Barsaga, you still have 4 minutes.
Okay. So, balik naman tayo rito sa ano. Iwanan ko na muna in the meantime yung ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
the time of the gentleman Barsaga is very valuable, but we cannot let the incomplete answers of the accountant, who's making it difficult for this matter to be understood, stand in the way of the time of Mr. Barsaga. If they will only answer it clearly, then we can move on to the other topics. But we're being held back by answers which do not satisfy the Honorable Barsaga.
Yes, the Honorable Remulla. But at any rate, nag-request naman po si Mr. Barsaga to look into that, and I think it's incumbent upon this committee that we go back to the figures that were asked by the Honorable Barsaga.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, but if this will go on with the questions not being answered immediately by the other side, then we are letting them profit with their own misdeeds if that is the case.
Honorable Remulla, I would understand the witness because the question was way back 1999. But I think the basic question of the Honorable Barsaga is basic. You have 6 billion, but you have 18 million. Yun lang po naman ang tanong ng Honorable Barsaga. Bakit po ganun? It may be 1999, it may be 2009, it may even be last year. Bakit itong shell company na napakalaking hinawakang pondo ay napakaliit ng cash at maliit ang binabayaran na buwis? Tama po ba, Honorable Barsaga?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So I would just request the accountant, number 1, did you actually file a balance sheet as well as profit and loss statement for the year 1999? If yes, could we have a copy? And second, were those documents filed in 1999 audited? And 3, if those documents were filed, what is the reason kung bakit hindi nyo kami binigyan ng kopya? And also, I am interested in the cash position. What is the cash position at the end of 1999 up to 2018 per year? Okay? Kaya-kaya mo na yan, Ms. Accountant. So I go back to ABS-CBN Corporation.
Honorable Barsaga, just in pursuit of the point of the Honorable Remulla, sino po ba ang... Yung accountant po ba natin noong 1999, noong una itong sinimulan, nandun na po ba kayo? Wala po.
Your Honor, I'm with ABS-CBN Holdings in 2000 po.
A year after. So, nandyan na rin po kayo more or less. Opo. So, yun na lang po request ni Mr. Barsaga dahil may punto po si Honorable Remulla. Ang akala ko po kasi, baka hindi nyo maalala dahil 1999, baka wala pa po kayo dito. In 2000 pa lang po pala, nandyan na kayo. Yes, okay. Honorable Remulla.
Mr. Chairman, the ABS-CBN Corporation is asking for a renewal of their franchise, which means it is the right and duty of Congress to review their performance for the past 25 years. They should be able to answer all the questions about the past 25 years. This is unthinkable, Mr. Chairman, that they will make it a reason that they didn't keep the documents because they know they'll be going back to Congress to seek another franchise. If they don't want to answer the question, Mr. Chairman, then so be it. Let's make it an unanswered question which ABS-CBN refused to answer. Make it a question they refuse to answer, Mr. Chairman.
So noted, Honorable Remulla. Honorable Barsaga, you may continue.
And last request to our accountant, who has been the accountant of the holding company as early as 2000. Yun lamang request ko kung ano ang record nyo ng payment ng transaction tax ng shares of stocks transfer together with the payment of documentary stamp tax. And I would be having a similar request to the Bureau of Internal Revenue for the last 10 years.
Okay po.
Assistant Commissioner, pwede ba? Where is our Assistant Commissioner?
Assistant Commissioner Mapoy is recognized.
Move to suspend, Mr. Chairman.
Session suspended.
Siguro na magre-raise na ako ng...
Session resume. Honorable Barsaga.
Assistant Commissioner, magre-request lamang ako kung anong record ang available sa inyo evidencing the tax on the transaction regarding the transfer or sale of shares of stocks ng ABS-CBN Corporation, ng ABS Holding Company, at saka yung documentary stamp tax, even for the last 10 years, kung ano ang available.
Mr. Chair and honorable members, good afternoon again. If we will be referring to ABS-CBN Holdings Corporation, again, with all due respect, Mr. Chair, we will be needing a waiver coming from the taxpayer. Because the waiver executed by Mr. Katigbak yesterday was for ABS-CBN Corporation.
So, we would request the ABS-CBN Holding Company to inform this House the listing of the taxpayer of the owners of the shares of stocks of ABS-CBN based on the record so that we can ask for their conformity in order not to violate the confidentiality of the tax records of a taxpayer which is guaranteed under the National Internal Revenue Code. Section what, Assistant Commissioner?
Section 270, Your Honor.
273.
270, Your Honor.
270, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ngayon, Assistant Commissioner,
Honorable Barsaga. Para ho pagpapatuloy, nagsalita na naman po yung ABS-CBN Holdings kanina, but may we get the official response of the ABS-CBN Holdings as regards the requirement of the BIR. Kailangan lang po nila yung authorization para maibigay nila yung dokumento
We can-
na hiningi ng Honorable Barsaga.
Mr. Chairman, we can provide that authorization.
Marami po salamat. If the letter can be kindly be sent to this committee para po ibigay natin sa BIR at nang ganun po naman ang BIR naman mapadala ang dokumento dito.
Yes,
Marami
Mr.
po salamat. Thank you.
Assistant Commissioner, we realized that we have already a very tight schedule last night. Nag-request
Yes,
ako
sir.
last night kung pwede sanang maibigay sa amin yung corresponding tax payment ng ABS-CBN Corporation for the last 3 years at ihiwalay natin yung withholding as well as the value-added tax. Unfortunately, up to now, hindi pa natatanggap ng ating COMSEC. May we know what is the update on this, Assistant Commissioner?
Nakamute po. Assistant Commissioner Mapoy, nakamute po.
Unmute.
Ano
Ayan.
po?
Mr. Chair? Mr. Chair,
Go
the
ahead.
records that you requested yesterday were emailed to the COMSEC before noon today.
Just verification, COMSEC. Natanggap ba ng ating committee?
COMSEC, kindly reply. The emails of the BIR as regards the expanded value-added tax, withholding taxes, final withholding tax, real estate tax, all other components of the total tax paid by ABS-CBN. Tama po ba?
Well, yes, unfortunately, siguro medyo nabigla ang ating COMSEC nang hinihingi ko kanina. Ang sagot niya, wala pa raw.
Wala pa up to now.
Meron na?
Wala pa daw.
Wala pa raw, Assistant Commissioner. Magkalapit lamang tayo.
We sent that, Your Honor. We sent, Your Honor. And if you want, we can have it presented.
Sige po.
We can have it shared, but we sent it. We sent the documents that you requested, Your Honor.
Sino kaya ang tumanggap based on your records? Baka ibang committee.
1:47 p.m. to House Committee on Legislative Franchise.
So, 147.
Yes, 1:47. I'm sorry.
Okay
after
lang,
lunch,
okay lang,
Your Honor.
Commissioner. So, just to clarify, yung ating BAT, ang sinasabi ng iba kong nakakausap, yung mga artista ng ABS-CBN, pati na ng ibang channel, pag binabayaran sila, tanggal na ang BAT. Tama po ba?
ABS-CBN?
That's correct, Your Honor.
And aside from BAT, sa mga artista, ano pa ang tinatanggal nyo?
Mayroon pong expanded withholding tax po.
And how much is that?
That is either 10% po or 15%. Depende po sa income.
So, sa madaling sabi, 10% BAT at saka 15% expanded withholding tax.
To correct lang po, in most cases, it's 12% VAT and 10% expanded withholding.
10% expanded withholding.
Mga entertainers.
Ha?
Sir, 10% or 15% po. Depende po sa income bracket.
Hindi. Maximum.
Maximum po is
Ito ang
50.
paboritong star ni Deputy Speaker Marcoleta. Si Coco Martin.
Balik.
Ang bayad ng ABS-CBN, 10 million for 1 year. Example lang to,
Okay.
Masyadong mababayan.
15% po yung maximum. Pag
15%.
ang 10%, opo.
Representing,
Expanded withholding tax po.
what about the VAT?
12% po yung VAT.
So, bali, theoretically, 12 plus 25, that would, 12 plus 15, 27%.
12 plus 15 po, 27%.
27%. That is the, sa madaling sabi, yung wini-withhold nyo is part of the compensation of the actors or actresses of the ABS-CBN.
Yun pong, opo,
Okay.
yung VAT po, if I ano lang po, kung pwede lang po, yung
Yes.
VAT po is input tax naman po ng ABS-CBN. Yun naman pong expanded withholding tax, yun po yung sinabi nyo kahapon.
Sinabi nating input tax ng ABS-CBN. Ako, hindi ko rin kabisado yan. Ano ba ibig sabihin nating input tax ng ABS-CBN?
Ang ABS-CBN po, pag nagbabayad po ng services at saka ng goods, yung binabayad po nila, mayroon po siyang nakukuha na, may binabayad po siyang value-added tax. Pag
No.
palabas po, input tax po yon na pwede po naming i-offset against our value-added tax na output tax naman po. So may input-output mechanism po siya.
Oo nga, we know that. Pero ang sinasabi nating output tax ay yung sa mga stars.
Yun pong output tax naman po ay yung pagbenta namin ng aming mga produkto at services.
Produkto nyo. Pero balik lang muna tayo sa mga artista, don't complicate.
Sige po.
So, 12%
Opo.
plus 15. Yung 12% VAT, what do you consider that? Input or output?
Input po.
Input. So, in reality, chargeable yan sa mga artista.
In reality, kasama po siya sa binabayad namin sa artista.
O nga, pero binabawas nyo.
Actually po,
Hinahawakan nyo lamang.
actually hindi po. Binabayad po namin sa kanya. Hindi po namin hinahawakan.
Hindi kayo nagwi-withheld ng VAT?
Ang VAT po, hindi po nagwi-withhold eh.
Hindi kayo nagwi-withhold?
Opo, sila po ang dapat mag-declare ng babayaran
So,
nila po.
ano yung VAT na inyong wini-withhold?
Honorable Barsaga, if I may just give you 1 minute. We were already reminded by the chair.
So, we will just request the ABS-CBN to make a presentation or a position paper regarding the VAT.
Opo, sige
Okay.
po.
Next question. I was able to read for a while the case of Quezon City and City Treasurer of Quezon City. Courtesy of Attorney.
Visera, Your Honor.
Okay. Binasa ko yung asunto rito. Dito pala, ang Quezon City, merong city ordinance requiring the payment of the franchise. Ang ABS-CBN, ang sabi nila, well, under the franchise, hindi na kami liable magbayad ng franchise tax. Pero ang nangyari, based on the decision of the Supreme Court, nanalo ang ABS-CBN sa RTC, nanalo ang ABS-CBN sa Court of Appeals, pagdating sa Supreme Court, reverse ang decision, and the decision was penned by the late Justice Ruben Reyes, nang sabi nila, the city government of Quezon City has the right to collect the taxes. Tama ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Sa ngayon, nagbabayad pa ba kayo sa taxes sa Quezon City based on that ruling and based on the city ordinance of Quezon City?
If I may answer po, kasi po ako po yung
Yes.
nagbabayad. Ang binabayaran po namin ay local franchise tax in lieu of the local business tax po. It is, nagbabayad po kami. Sa
Simple lang
madaling
tayo.
sabi po.
Ang issue roon, the local franchise tax based on the city ordinance of Quezon City. Okay. Kaya ang tanong ko lamang ngayon, kayo ba ay nagbabayad ng local franchise tax based on the city ordinance and also based on the decision of the Supreme Court? As simple as that.
Nagbabayad po kami.
Nagbabayad kayo.
Opo.
So, thank you very much because the chairman might run for mayor and he knows already what taxes ABS-CBN would be paying.
Thank you, Honorable Barsaga. Kanina mo pa kami tinuturo ni Honorable Marcoleta. Pero ang katanungan ko po, gusto niyo po bang makita yung mga VAT sa mga artista o individual na mga artista o wag na po?
Wag na. Baka
Wag na po.
malaman natin na masyadong mataas ang kanilang binabayad. But that is part of the expenses of ABS-CBN. As a matter of fact, that is a major component of their cost of sales or cost of good, right?
Opo.
Okay.
At kasama na rin po yung pagbayad ng buwis. Malaki rin po ang bayad na buwis dahil doon. Baka po pag nakita nyo, ay magsisi kayo na kayo nag-abuga siya kaysa kayo
That
po ay
will be good
nag-artista.
for the Bureau of Internal Revenue because as I have stated, taxes are the lifeblood of the government. Yon ang buwis, ang buhay at dugo ng bawat pamahalaan. Well, anyway, I'll not go in detail about that issue. So yun lang nire-request ko sa ating accountant.
Thank you for the very informative interpellation of the Honorable Barsaga, a CPA lawyer. I now go back to our chair, Honorable Alvarez.
Maraming salamat, Kong Mike, Congressman Barsaga. Next po na magtatanong ay si Congressman Rolando Valeriano. Kong Valeriano. Okay, unmute si Kong.
Nakamute po, Congressman, nakamute po. Sorry.
Ayan po.
Okay po.
Ako.
Okay na.
Okay na po.
Okay na po.
Okay. Para po maikli lamang po yung katanungan ko at madali lamang po. Meron po ba tayong representative mula sa Big D Pen Company?
Yes, Your Honor.
Opo. Ano po ang nature ng business ng Big Dipper?
Your Honor, Big Dipper is engaged in digitizing and repurposing content for easier distribution and export to the international market, and also for distribution in the local market.
And because of that, kayo po ay nag-qualified bilang PESA accredited corporation or company. Tama po ba?
That's correct, Your Honor. We qualified as an IT-enabled enterprise.
Sa local po, ano po ang ninyo sa ABS Corporation? Meron po ba kayong relationship with ABS? Sila po ba clients niyo? Or ano po?
Sorry, could you repeat the question, Your Honor?
Meron po ba kayong relasyon sa ABS Corporation? Sila po ba kliyente ninyo, supplier ninyo? What is the relationship of Big Dipper to ABS Corporation?
Your Honor, Big Dipper is a 100% owned subsidiary of ABS-CBN Corporation.
So meron pong business ang Big Dipper at ang ABS Corporation.
That's correct.
Nag-i-import po ba ang Big Dipper? Nag-i-import po kayo ng imported articles?
It imports equipment, yes, Your Honor.
Nag-i-import, is that exempted from payment of duties and taxes as PESA accredited company?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So, tama po ba yung analysis po na kapag exempted kayo sa duties and taxes, yung Big Dipper po ay gagamitin niya solely para sa purpose ng Big Dipper lamang?
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. That's correct.
So, ano po yung ini-import nyo? Meron po bang mga camera dyan dahil capital equipment po, di ba?
Basically, equipment, yes.
Ano pong klase equipment ng mga camera po na ginagamit? Bayan po ba yun?
Hindi po camera, but equipment for the digitization process and the like.
Bago po natayo yung Big Dipper, ang ABS Corporation po ay existing for 25 years. So, before po, saan po sila kumukuha ng ganyang mga equipment? Nung wala pa po yung Big Dipper, nag-i-import din po ang ABS.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Mr. Lopez.
Yeah. Yung equipment po ng Big Dipper are mostly hardware. These are used for transcoding and converting to digital a lot of our old programs so that we can use this for newer technology like mobile, sa internet, no? Which you can see like yung streaming services.
So, Mr. Lopez, ibig po sabihin, nagagamit ng ABS Corporation yung equipment ng Big Dipper. Tama po ba? Being the clients of Big Dipper.
Yes, Your Honor. Yun yung the ABS Big Dipper is ABS is the client of Big Dipper. It does the work for ABS.
Ang ibig po sabihin, ang equipment po ng ABS Corporation ay halos libre ng duties and taxes dahil si Big Dipper po ay accredited ng PESA. Ganun po ba yun?
No, Your Honor.
Paano po yung system?
Your Honor, the equipment that is imported by Big Dipper and not by ABS-CBN Corporation.
Yan po, kaya nga po ang punto ko, kung ang nag-i-import po ay si Big Dipper, which is duties and taxes exempted from ibig sabihin po, parang si ABS-CBN din ay exempted din sa taxes dahil ginagamit niya as a client, as supplier ng Big Dipper. Tama po ba?
If I may answer po.
Yes, go ahead.
The equipment po of Big Dipper is used solely for the services that is being offered by Big Dipper to its clients. It so happened po that ABS-CBN is a client of Big Dipper. But none of the Big Dipper assets is actually being used by ABS-CBN in any of its production of content po. So what you're probably saying po is by the virtue of being a client of Big Dipper, si Big Dipper po would render service to ABS-CBN and thus use those equipment to render the service to ABS-CBN po.
Sa ganyang pong system, tanong ko lang po, meron po ba nagbabantay sa inyo na PESA authority person para bantayan kung talagang hindi nagagamit ni ABS yung facilities ni Big Dipper? Because si Big Dipper po is exempted from duties and taxes. So kung ganun po, what is the assurance ng pwede po matanong ang PESA na ngayon? Sa PESA po kay
Yes.
Ma'am Pla.
The Honorable Lasat is recognized of PESA.
Magandang hapon po. Paano nyo po nababantayan na ang equipment na ipinasok ng Dipper na free of duties and taxes ay hindi na-enjoy ng ABS-CBN? Kasi po,
Sir,
sila.
yes, if I may answer that, Your Honor, our export companies registered with PESA, like Big Dipper, enjoys different incentives. And one of this is the tax and duty-free importation. But before they will do the importation, Your Honors, they have to apply to PESA. They have to apply and advise the PESA board who will approve their application of the different equipment that they're going to import.
Meron po listing na
And the
equipment.
PESA board will approve this. And once this imported equipment will arrive in the country, PESA will inspect this. If these are those listed in permitted importations of our IT enterprises. So we monitor this po. Hindi po pwede na si ABS-CBN ay sisingit ng kanilang mga importations of capital equipment. It should only be the one registered with PESA. And it's not just the PESA management who will approve this, but the PESA board itself, where we have the members such as the Department of Finance Undersecretary, we have the NEDA, we have the DTI, and 11 other agencies of the government represented in the PESA board. So it's the PESA board who approves and issues the letter of authority to those importations requested by our IT enterprises and export companies, Your Honor.
So talaga po, yung facilities, yung equipment na in-import ni Big Dipper, kung ang client niya po ay ABS, pinagagamit po ng ABS yung facilities ni Big Dipper being a client of Big Dipper. Tama po ba yung pagkakaintindi?
Yes po, sir. In fact, we have a record for every IT enterprise and export companies registered with PESA. We have individual records of their importations, their exportations, and we required them to submit an annual reportorial report of their transactions, of their availment of the different incentives. So like, for example, Your Honor, the Big Dipper acquired IT equipment which is sourced from foreign and local suppliers, consists of various computer equipment and software. For example, the board CheckLink, Dale PLU. Then we have the software interface, the interweb, media, log video. Many more are in the list, Your Honors, that were allowed through the approval of the PESA board for Big Dipper to import and enjoy the tax and duty-free importation incentive.
Yung po bang equipment?
We inspect this, Your Honor, once these importations will arrive in the country.
Inspected po. Yung po bang in-import nilang...
Together with the Bureau of Customs, Your Honor.
Yung po bang in-import nila na equipment talagang duty-free talaga? Wala po siyang condition? Hindi po ba siya conditionally free importation?
In our guidelines, Your Honor, any equipment that is used for the project or for the activity of our export companies like Big Dipper, nakasulat po yan sa kanilang application. They have to apply. They have to apply to the PESA board for an import, tax and duty-free importation of all their importations, Your Honor.
Tax and duty-free po, habang ginagamit lamang nila for export purposes or habang member sila ng PESA, hindi po ba?
Yes,
once na member, so meron pong restriction.
As long as it is used inside the economic zone. In the case of Big Dipper, Your Honor, they are located in the IT center. The IT center, which is also registered with PESA.
Yun nga po.
Pwedeng dalhin sa labas yung kanilang mga equipment.
Paano niyo po, meron po kayong tao sa PESA ro na talagang nakabantay sa Big Dipper para sa paggamit nila?
We have zone managers, Your Honor, in, for example, in Metro Manila, who visits, who inspects regularly the ongoings of our IT enterprises and other export companies registered in PESA. Unless meron pong makalusot, of course we will appreciate and investigate immediately if meron pong nakalusot na hindi po kaugnay sa kanilang authority, the authorized activity ng isang registered company of PESA.
Kapag tapos na po nilang gamitin yung equipment nila, do they need to pay the duties and taxes o kinakailangan po nila re-export yun?
Kailangan nilang i-export. It's either once they sell this, halimbawa luma na po yung mga equipment nila, pwede nilang i-donate, pwede rin nilang ibenta.
Honorable Plaza, Congressman,
they have to pay the regular.
Honorable Plaza, ang tanong po ni Congressman Honorable Plaza, Administrator Plaza, ang tanong po ni Congressman Valeriano, kung yan lahat po ng produkto ay dapat for export, tingin ko po medyo i-check po natin yung ano diyan, yung provision ng batas.
Chairman, kasi yung line ng question ko ganito po. Yung needs ng ABS-CBN ay yun din po yung product ni Big Dipper. So kung yung needs ni ABS ay na-enjoy niya yung tax, yung exemption ng duties, yung po bang ibang network pwede rin na magtatayo sila ng isang kumpanya para maka-avail ng free of duties and taxes, at pagkatapos yun naman yung i-hire or magsusupply sa isang company. Hindi po ba parang parang niliko lang natin ng konti. Ako po ay nagtatanong.
Opo, Congressman Valeriano, sinusuportahan ko po, Congressman Valeriano, yung binabanggit ninyo. Kaya nga po, Honorable Plaza, 1 minute.
In digital film
Kaya nga po,
archiving.
Honorable Valeriano, kasi po tinanong ninyo kung 100% yung export. Ang sagot po ng PESA, yes, that is the law. But I don't think that is the provision of the law. So maybe we can hear from the Honorable Plaza para ma-exacto po natin kung ano yung provision of law. Honorable Plaza is recognized. Administrator Plaza is recognized.
Sir, what law are you referring at? The PESA?
Tinanong po kasi kayo ni Congressman Valeriano, ang sabi niya, kung kailangan pong 100%. Ang sagot niyo po, yes, that is the law. So I wanted you to check.
No, sir.
Okay, yes.
Nag-mute kasi tayo in a while now. If it is a foreign investor or a foreign registered company, we allow 70% for export and 30% for domestic sales. But if it is Filipino-owned, we allow 50% export and 50% domestic sales.
Thank you po. Yung po ang tanong ni Congressman Valeriano.
Sila sa kanilang export quota, for example, or domestic market quota, they have to pay already the regular taxes of the excess, representing the excess. Kaya nga po may limit po yung kanilang export and export sales and domestic sales. So beyond that or over that rate or percentage, they already have to pay the regular tax. So sir, iba po
Congressman
yung
Valeriano, ang sinasabi po ni Congressman Plaza,
we don't include here the equipment on broadcast. Only equipment related to the IT activity of Big Dipper. And they cannot bring outside the ecozone this equipment. So this equipment must be used inside the economic zone or the IT center.
Congressman Valeriano, to your query, if it is a foreign company, 70% export, 30% domestic. Pagka po domestic corporation, 50% export, 50% domestic. Go ahead, Congressman Valeriano.
They have to pay already the regular tax.
So Honorable Plaza, sa mabilis lang pong pag-analyze ninyo, magkano na po yung natipid o yung tax holiday, the duties and tax? Estimate nyo po, magkano na po ang natipid ng Big Dipper because of being a PESA accredited company?
Sir, hindi po namin ma-compare, no? Kasi dito po sa PESA, when we provide the incentives, hindi po pwedeng apples to apples, no? Meaning, kung ano yung ininvest ng company, ay yun din ang in-expect nating ibabayad niya as tax, no? Kasi po, makikita natin ang effect ng ating mga incentives in other forms, in different forms. For example, why are we giving incentives to PESA or to export companies? Because they bring in huge capital investment. They are the ones who bring in new technology. They create thousands of jobs. So we are not the only country who is now attracting exporters. This is now the trend, not just in Asia, no, but in many countries of the world. Countries now are putting up economic zones and attracting investors, especially export companies, with their incentives, fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. So recently, NEDA conducted the cost-benefit analysis. And the findings of that cost-benefit analysis is that there is more income brought in by the export companies of PESA than the taxes for done. And other than that, the host LGUs, for example, became highly urbanized cities because 2% of the gross income earning paid by the export companies of PESA is a share of the LGU host. So,
Salamat po, Honorable.
Rate apple to apple, no? Kasi nga po, kung makita natin yung mga host LGUs, Congressman Remulla is there, Congressman Go of Baguio City is there. They can tell you what contributions to social progress, to the income and the higher classification of their LGUs, because they hosted economic zones and export companies. So they enjoyed among the LGUs of the country the low poverty and crime incidents, for example. So ito po yung gusto i-repeat ni PESA. So
ubos yung oras ko. Huling katanungan ko na lamang po at iba, pwede ko na po bang matanong yung ABS muna bago ako magtapos sa oras ko?
Congressman Valeriano, pwede po naman siguro, with the acceptance of the chair, pwede kayong dagdagan pa ng konti, Congressman Valeriano.
Pero napan din ako sa signal. Sa ABS Corporation lang po.
Opo.
Huling ko lang po. Nung po bang naging supplier nyo or nung itinayo po ba yung Big Dipper being a PESA accredited company, nakatipid po bang ABS Corporation in terms of taxes or expenses?
Congressman,
yes,
Your Honor, when we set up PESA back in 2009, ABS-CBN was not a client because there was no requirement from ABS-CBN at that point. So from the evolution when they started in 2009, ABS-CBN became a client in late 2014 when a new product of ABS-CBN was launched. This was our OTT platform na iWant, because we needed to repurpose and reformat the content that is needed for the OTT platform. Kasi iba po yung platform for television, iba naman po yung platform or what you call bitrate for mobile phone. So at that point po, noon lang po naging kliyente ng Big Dipper ang ABS-CBN. But from 2009 to late 2014, it was doing content repurposing for our international market po. Kasi nauna po ang international market sa OTT, different platforms, IPTV, sila po yung nauna. Na medyo nahuli po ang Pilipinas sa OTT platform. Salamat po.
So kaya nga po, kung sakali pong wala si Big Dipper and they did not enjoy the exemption from PESA, tingin niyo po ba mas malaki ang ginagastos ng ABS Corporation mula po nung 2014? Kasi po si Big Dipper is exempted sa, marami po siyang exemption being a PESA accredited company. Ngayon po, kung sakaling wala si Big Dipper na kumpanya nyo rin naman, kung wala po siya, ibig sabihin po, walang exempted sa taxes, walang exempted sa duties and taxes, walang tax holiday. Dumating na po yung evolusyon ng media network. Kinakailangan nyo na rin po talagang magbago. Tingin nyo po ba mas malaki ang gagastusin ninyo without Big Dipper?
I would say po, your question is, mas malaki po ba ang gagastusin ng ABS-CBN kung wala pong Big Dipper when they do their repurposing? Kung ganun po ang mangyayari at wala po kaming facility or ang Big Dipper the facility to do the repurposing, siguro po i-outsource po ito sa ibang bansa at mas mamahal pa po at ibang bansa po ang kikita nito. Kasi hindi po siya activity or wala pong assets ang ABS-CBN to do the services being rendered by Big Dipper po.
So, si Big Dipper po ba kayo lang ang kinikater sa network industry?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor. Big Dipper transacts directly with ABS-CBN and the group.
Talagang tailor-fit si Big Dipper pala talaga. Pumasok siya sa PESA to enjoy the tax holiday as well as the other exemption from taxes to cater ABS Corporation. Tama po ba yung analysis ko na yun?
Your Honor, Big Dipper is an IT enterprise, and it engages in a separate line of business from ABS. The service that it provides is required by ABS so that the content that ABS produces can be distributed overseas, Your Honor. So, for example, the content that is produced has to be modified or edited in some way so that it's playable in different platforms or it's able to meet the standards of different countries. As a matter of fact, Big Dipper is probably the only company in the Philippines that was recently accredited by iTunes, so that the content is now playable in iTunes, and I think shortly even Amazon. So yung serbisyo po ng Big Dipper is different and kailangan po ng ABS. If I may ask that our tax counsel, Attorney Lucille Becerra, be recognized, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, if you may, yeah. Just so po we clarify the question, because there were questions a while ago on the importation of equipment being made by Big Dipper as a tax-exempt entity. Big Dipper, being a company rendering service, would need this equipment in order to do the digitization services. So the main clients would be ABS-CBN and the other companies of ABS-CBN or ABS-CBN group. So the equipment are used solely by Big Dipper in its digitization services and are not being used by ABS-CBN. So ABS-CBN just secures the services of Big Dipper. So there is no sharing po of the equipment because ABS-CBN is not doing the digitization services. From my understanding po, digitization is very important and is in fact integral in the content production of ABS-CBN. As mentioned a while ago by the CFO, had it been that there is no Big Dipper in the Philippines, then ABS-CBN might have secured the services of offshore companies, which we understand might be, more expensive. And personally, from my perspective is, though ABS-CBN created Big Dipper, which it wholly owns, and it enjoys incentives, though right now it's subject already to the 5% gross income tax, there is a separate entity that is contributing to the Philippine government. Had it been that there is no Big Dipper, then we don't have an entity which is paying 5% and which is also generating employment for which it is withholding taxes from its employees.
Salamat po, pero tama po ba na even with or without Big Dipper, magdi-digitization na rin ang ABS Corporation? Dahil doon na po tayo papunta, hindi po ba? Even with or without Big Dipper, dyan din po papunta talaga ang industriya. Tama po ba yun?
Your Honor, I think you're referring po to the distribution of the content. ABS-CBN po right now is engaged in the business of broadcasting and content production. Kaya po ang equipment, ang ginagawa ng ABS-CBN ay ang mag-produce po ng mga programa. Itong mga programa po na ito, if kinailangan po to show in other platforms, iulit ko lang po, wala pong assets ang ABS-CBN. Kaya po hindi ito maaring gawin ng ABS-CBN. As a matter of fact, before, Big Dipper was not accredited by iTunes. So if you go to iTunes, there are titles of ABS-CBN. We had to repurpose them in Hong Kong because in the region closest to us, it was only Hong Kong that is accredited by iTunes. And recently po, Big Dipper was accredited by iTunes. And in most recent pa rin po, we have our international platform has been accredited by Amazon Video. So proud po ang ABS, ang Big Dipper na accredited po siya ngayon ng iTunes at ng Amazon Video.
Salamat po, Mr. Chairman. Yun lang po yung ibang katanungan ko. Gusto ko lang pong ipaalam na ako po hindi naman pro or anti, pero ako po ay membro ng committee ng legislative franchise. At sa dulo po nitong hearing, at the end of this hearing, isa po ako sa boboto. Kaya minarapat ko po na pakinggan at alamin ang both side po ng ABS at ng against. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Honorable Barillano. Congressman Chicoy, Chairman.
Maraming salamat po, Mike. Maraming salamat, Congressman Valeriano. Ang next po na magtatanong ay si Congressman Franz Castro na binigyan ng additional 5 minutes ni Kong Tuliaman. So meron pong total 10 minutes. Kong Franz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. So sa BIR, Mr. Chair, yung ating pong resource person from the BIR. So, may be recognized, Mr. Chair, yung atin pong taga-BIR. Baka hindi niya marinig yung questions ko.
BIR?
Diyan po sila.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Well, Congresswoman Castro, isa lang pong ano. Mr. Chairman, may we know if RD Galanza has already taken his oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Go ahead, Congressman.
Yesterday, Your Honor.
Salamat po, Congresswoman Castro. Go ahead.
Maraming pong salamat. So kahapon po may presentation ng ABS-CBN dun sa kanilang pagbabayad ng tax kasi yun naman yung issue dito whether or not ang ABS-CBN po ay nagbabayad ng tax o hindi o kung meron man silang problema dito sa pagbabayad ng tax. So at syempre pinresent din po yung presentation sa Senado ng isang reporter from the ABS-CBN. So 2016 to 2018, so we have 14.38 billion na ibinayad po ng ABS-CBN na tax. Tama po ba ito?
Tama po, yan po ang numero na,
Okay.
Good evening. Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Assistant Commissioner. This is Assistant Commissioner Mapoy. Director Alvin Galanza was sitting here before because I thought the question would be after the Big Dipper. Yes, Your Honor. The figure that I mentioned yesterday, the 15 billion something, the figure that I mentioned yesterday amounting to 15,382,423,364 pesos and 16 centavos is the correct amount of payments made by ABS-CBN Corporation for 2016, 17, 18, and 19, Your Honors.
So with your report po, medyo tumaas pa, no? Naging 15 billion plus for the last 3 years. Tama po?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor. With all due respect,
So-
the figure mentioned by Mr. Cabantac during the Senate session was not complete yet.
Yes, and I understand also that this covers the different kinds of taxes paid by the corporation. So with this record, Mr. Representative from the BIR po, so how would you fare the ABS-CBN in terms of payments po, payments of taxes po? How would you fare them?
Your Honor, in terms of what?
The corporation.
Your Honor, as a corporate taxpayer, or are you going to ask us on how we are going
As
to
a
run
corporate
ABS-CBN?
taxpayer, As a corporate taxpayer po.
As a corporate taxpayer, as what Mr. Kabantak said, ABS-CBN Corporation has been regularly paying its corporate taxes for the past years.
How would you fare naman po in terms of dun sa binabayad nilang tax, in terms of the highest taxpayer corporation po sa ating bansa? How would you fare them naman po?
Your Honor, for the year 2016, as far as our records are concerned, ABS-CBN Corporation ranked number 65. For the year 2017, number 275. And for taxable year 2018, number 339, Your Honors.
Okay, so sa inyo pong pag-assess o sa inyo pong pag-evaluate, so in terms po doon sa performance ng pagbabayad ng tax at yung tungkol po doon sa sinasabi niyo pong mga ranking, so how would you fare the ABS-CBN as taxpayer po? In general.
I think the ranking of ABS-CBN speaks for herself. That for the year 2016, number 65, 17, 275, 2018, 339. As far as the sales is concerned versus the tax payment, we need to collect more.
So is another question, Mr. Chair, is there any pending proceedings versus ABS-CBN, like kasi ito naman yung pinag-uusapan natin, di ba? May mga pinadala po ba kayong notices of assessment or reminding them of their tax kasi nalilate sila sa pagbabayad ng mga anumang mga tax? Is there any record of that, Mr. Chair?
Currently, Your Honor, ABS-CBN Corporation is under investigation for the year 2019. 2018 and prior years, they were already investigated. But if we will speak of delinquent account, there is no outstanding delinquent account as we speak, Your Honor. I'm speaking of delinquent account.
So, masasabi natin na yung ABS-CBN po in terms of pagbabayad po ng tax ay siguro kung bibigyan natin ng grado, pwede po ba nating for the grades of 1 to 10, pwede po bang nating masabing 8 or 9 or 10? Pasensya na po kayo, teacher ako eh.
Your Honor, that is a very difficult question, Your Honor. It's a very difficult question.
Oh, yeah, I understand. Pero in terms of yung pag-ano po ng responsibilidad nila sa pagbabayad ng tax, yun naman po yung hinahanap dito eh, kung talagang nagbabayad po ng maayos. So wala naman pong mga record. At hindi po ba, Mr. Chair, kapag meron pong, kahit na hindi ABS-CBN, kapag merong company na nagkaroon ng delinquency sa pagbabayad ng tax or hindi po nakakapagbayad ng tax, meron po tayong proseso under the National Internal Revenue Code ng BIRs and rules and regulations. Hindi po ba, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Your Honor, we have policy here on how to assess and how to collect ultimately as far as the taxpayer is concerned. They have to undergo the process, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. At alam natin yung due process na ito ng rights ng taxpayers para sa equivalent ng, parang sinasabi nating you are presumed innocent until proven guilty. Paborito ko na po ito eh dahil sa terrorism bill. So, tatapusin muna, for example, ng BIR, yung proseso ayon sa batas, rules and regulation, bago maituturing na talagang violative of the laws. Tama po ba ito?
Opo, Your Honor. May process po tayong sinusunod, Your Honor.
Okay, so, salamat po. Dito po, bigyan niyo po ako ng idea tungkol sa exemption sa mga taxes. Kailan po ba nagkakaroon ng exemption sa tax? Halimbawa po, meron po ang isang corporation ng corporate social responsibility. So meron po bang ganun? Bigyan nyo nga po ako ng idea tungkol doon sa, in terms of BIR perspective po.
Your Honor, Mr. Chair, kamukha po kanina, nasabi na po ng head ng PESA yung mga exemption as far as that agency is concerned. Sa BIR naman po, mayroon po tayong sari-saring mga incentives na ibinibigay. Mayroon pong subject to different rate or lower rate. Mayroon pong subject to regular rate. Kung ang sinasabi niyo po ay yung sa corporate social responsibility, mayroon po tayong mga asosasyon na hindi po talaga sila nasa subject sa tax, pero kailangan po nilang kumuha ng karampatang sertifikasyon o exemption sa mga government agencies at sa BIR. Hindi po yan ibinibigay nang nag-apply ka ngayon ay automatic ay ibibigay po yun.
Ito po yung sa mga associations, mga foundations, at iba pa pong mga iba pa pong mga organizations. Okay, thank you po. Sa ABS-CBN, Mr. Chair, sa ABS-CBN po, no? So, ang ABS-CBN po ay nakikita natin na very active in terms of kung merong mga kalamidad, merong mga nangyayari sa ating mga mamamayan, at active ang ABS-CBN sa pagtulong. Tama po ba yun? Involved po ba ang ABS-CBN sa mga ganong, lalo na ngayong pandemya, may mga pamilya tayo na natutulungan at nabibigyan ng mga goods at iba pa pong mga ayuda. Active po ba ang ABS-CBN sa mga ganun?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so how is the ABS-CBN related to the foundation? Kasi yung foundation yata yung arm ng ABS-CBN para tumulong dun sa ating mga mamamayan.
Your Honor, the ABS-CBN Foundation is a separate entity from ABS-CBN Corp.
Pero yung ABS-CBN as a corporation, meron din kayong mga ginagawang pagtulong po dun sa ating mga mamamayan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you cite some significant events or calamity that the ABS-CBN were helped our people?
Your Honor, may I ask that Ms. Susan Afan of ABS-CBN Foundation be recognized? She's on Zoom.
I will allow the line of questioning, but we are on the tax issue. Is that related to the foundation?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, gusto lang nating ipakita dito no kung paano yung ating paano siguro yung relasyon nung pagtulong ng sa ating mga mamamayan ng ABS-CBN. So kung hindi po yun
kung maaari po, Ms. Castro, baka po mag-object yung iba nating kasama dahil po sa ibang topic. But I will allow you. Go ahead.
Kasi kanina, Mr. Chair, bumalik tayo sa PDR, bumalik tayo sana mabigyan din ako ng pagkakataon na. But anyway, so yun na din naman ang topic natin kanina, yung tungkol dun sa taxes. So siguro, it's last comment na lang po from the ABS-CBN kung pahihintulutan niya, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead. Go ahead, ABS.
Your Honor, to the original question, ABS-CBN Corporation does provide financial assistance or support to ABS-CBN Foundation. And when there are calamities, such as the recent Taal volcano or other typhoons, ABS-CBN Corporation is there to give financial support and other types of support. Your Honor.
In relation to the point of the Honorable Castro, you do
yan
not...
po, Mr. Chair, tama po. Yun po yung gusto kong mapalabas na may relasyon po yung pagtulong ng isang corporation sa isang foundation para makatulong po dun sa ating mga mamamayan. So, yun po, dahil...
Honorable Castro, i-relate ko lang po. Hindi po kayo humingi ng tax credit o kahit anong tax break sa inyong tulong sa foundation? Wala po.
Your Honor, we receive a certificate of donation.
Okay. So that's it. That's the only thing that you receive. Okay. Go ahead, Honorable Castro.
So, wala namang tax yung sa certificate of donation o mga minimal taxes lang na binabayad for documents and whatever. Meron po ba?
Your Honor, that allows us to recognize it as an expense.
So, Siguro to finalize my my line of questioning, Mr. Chair, as regards to the issue on taxation by the ABS-CBN. So nakikita naman natin, Mr. Chair, na mismong ang BIR sinasabi naman sa atin na yung ABS-CBN ay hindi naman delinquent at sila po ay nagbabayad ng buwis ng tama, at bukod po dito, nakakatulong pa sila dun sa ating mga mamamayan through the foundation. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Castro. Chairman Chicoy Alvarez.
Salamat po, Kong Congressman Castro. Ang next po, ang ating Minority Leader, Benny Abante.
Mr. Chair, for the information of the committees, Minority Leader Abante is still in another meeting, but he will be coming afterwards. So,
Sige, balikan na lang natin si Congressman Abante mamaya. Next na po kayo, Kong Kaloy. Nadagdagan po kayo ng time galing kay Congressman Tampunting at Congressman Gaite. Kong Kaloy.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a few questions to just follow up to the line of questioning earlier by the Honorable Castro. There were allegations, claims that ABS-CBN Corporation, the Broadcasting Corporation, put up the foundation, the ABS-CBN Kapamilya Foundation ba yun, as a shield and to escape the payment of proper taxes. May I inquire from ABS-CBN, what is your comment on this?
Your Honor, as we mentioned yesterday in the opening statement, that is false. We're quite transparent we're very transparent in the support that we provide to the ABS-CBN Foundation.
Are there activities conducted or supposed taxable activities or transactions by ABS-CBN Corporation that uses the foundation as a conduit, so just to escape tax liability, Mr. Chair?
Your Honor, wala pong transaction na ginagamit ng ABS-CBN ang foundation for that matter po.
So yung transaction po ng foundation at saka ang ABS-CBN Corporation ay purely ang korporasyon ay nagdo-donate doon sa ABS-CBN Foundation, at itong donations na ito ng ABS-CBN Broadcasting Corporation sa foundation is treated as taxable donation or exempt from taxes.
The donation that are made by ABS-CBN Corporation to the foundation is not subject to donor's tax by virtue of the foundation being a PCNC accredited institution and a BIR registered foundation po.
Thank you for the answer. Again, there were also claims, even in social media, in the same manner, that to avoid the payment of taxes, the proper taxes to the government, the ABS-CBN Corporation created or formed the ABS-CBN Holdings so that transactions supposedly taxable for ABS-CBN Corporation and now being conducted by ABS-CBN Holdings will no longer be taxable for that matter. What can you comment on that?
Sir, ABS-CBN Holdings po is not a subsidiary of ABS-CBN Corporation. It's actually po a subsidiary of Lopez Inc. So hindi po ABS-CBN ang nag-form ng ABS-CBN Holdings.
Thank you for that answer. So, nitong mga nakaraang 25 years, no? Your franchise was renewed. The last time was in 1995. if I'm not mistaken, 1995. Um, can you estimate, no, in terms of taxes na naitulong ng ABS-CBN for this period of for 25 years, no, doon sa ating national economy? Do you have a ballpark figure how much is ABS-CBN injecting into our national economy, no, including all the other subsidiaries of ABS-CBN?
Your Honor, I can give you a 17-year look from 2003 to 2019. ABS-CBN as a group paid 71.5 billion in taxes.
71.5 billion taxes.
That's correct, Your Honor.
All the taxes, no, income tax, value-added tax, all the taxes, 71.5 billion.
Yes, Your Honor.
So that's for 17 years, no? And yun po ang tinitingnan natin dito. 71.5 billion is 71.5 billion. And sa panahon ngayon na grabe po ang krisis na dinadaanan natin, na pinalala pa ng krisis nitong pandemya ng COVID, ito yung billion na pwedeng mawala din in the next 10 or so years or 25 years. No? Na supposedly ay papasok sa ating pambansang ekonomiya. Even as we speak now, utang ng utang ang ating pamahalaan. 9 trillion na yung utang natin. At kung magkakataon na ang pagsasara ng ABS-CBN ay magtutuloy-tuloy, huwag naman sana. Dahil sa ngayon, hindi na lang sa ere na-shutdown ng ABS-CBN, kahit na doon sa ibang platforms. And I don't know anong platforms pa ang ipapasara. No? But ang ibig sabihin nito ay napakalaki ng epekto rin nito sa ating ekonomiya. No? At nabanggit nga nito mga nakaraang araw, kahapon, by August, magsisimula ng mag-retrench ang ABS-CBN. At hindi lang ito kawalan ng trabaho, kundi dagdag kawalan din ng buwis ito. Dahil yung mga manggagawa na matatanggal ay hindi na rin makakapagbayad ng kanilang income tax. So hindi lang taxes na mula sa ABS-CBN, kung hindi yung taxes mismo nung apektadong mga manggagawa, whether that's 4,000 or 11,000, but apektado sila. Samantalang ang ibang mga kumpanya nga ngayon ay talagang bagsak na, sarado na. So ito yung isang dapat titingnan natin. No? Tama na kailangang busisihin natin kung nagbabayad ba ng tamang buwis ang isang kumpanya. At dapat lang talaga magbayad dahil napakalaking kumpanya ng ABS-CBN. Pero tama rin ba na yung nagbabayad ng buwis ay patayin natin at hindi na siya makapagbayad pa ng buwis pa sa darating na mga panahon? Ang BIR na mismo ang nagsabi na sa kasalukuyan ay wala namang delinquency ang ABS-CBN. There were investigations in the past, there were compromises made, and out of those compromises ay nabayaran na yung dapat bayaran. No? And allowed, pinapayagan naman sa batas na i-contest ang isang pagbabayad ng buwis hanggang magkaroon ng compromise. No? So hindi naman pinagbabawal yan. At lalong hindi rin pinagbabawal sa ating kaayusan ngayon na magkaroon ng mga subsidiaries. No? For example, kung ito man ay pinapayagan dahil sa ating export-oriented economy na mayroong PESA, no, na nagtatayo ng mga enklabo para sa mga export oriented activities, if it's allowed for the other corporations, certainly it's ABS-CBN can also avail of those kind of arrangement. No? Gaya nga ng ipinaliwanag kanina. So, ang usapin na ito ng taxes, sa tingin ko tama na tingnan at busisihin, but when the regulatory bodies like the BIR sa palagay ng kinatawang ito ay nagsabi na sa kasalukuyan ay kung mayroon mang mga question, nabayaran naman ang mga buwis na dapat bayaran ng ABS-CBN, I think that also already answered, no? Those questions na kailangan malaman as far as this representation is concerned. So, yun lang yung gusto kong linawin na Mr. Chair, no? And I hope ang ating pagdinig na ito, this is already our 10th hearings, will already be wrap up soon, no? Para po magdesisyon na rin, no, ang Committee on Legislative Franchise sa pending na issue na nasa Committee on Legislative Franchise nitong itinutulak naming renewal or the new franchise na maibibigay sa ABS-CBN. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, the Honorable Zarate. Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Kong Kanloy, Zarate. Kung Mike, nandiyan na ba si Congressman Minority Leader Benny Abante?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, the good-looking Minority Floor Leader is already here.
Kong Benny, kayo na po ang next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry for just coming in because I was in an executive meeting for a while. But I just would like to ask continuing questions on the tax issue, no? Sa pananaw ko, what is being established here ay yung negative yung tax rate ng ABS-CBN for 2018. Na ibig sabihin ay hindi nagbayad ng buwis sa gobyerno ang ABS-CBN. So ang tanong, totoo ba ito? Pero madali naman itong verify sa BIR, di ba? Nakita natin, no? Meron tayo ritong BIR representative. Am I right, Mr. Chair?
Yes, Mr. Minority
All right.
Leader.
So I would like to ask this question to our BIR official. Nagbayad ba o hindi ng buwis ang ABS-CBN mula 2015 to 2019? Kung maaari, ang request ko, i-breakdown ninyo mula sa income tax, VAT, and withholding taxes. Ito. Sabihin ninyo ang kabuuang halaga ng ibinayad ng ABS-CBN na kontribusyon sa kaban ng bayan, kung meron man. I'm asking our BIR official.
Assistant Commissioner Mapo is recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. So, unfortunately, we only have here 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019. As far as income tax is concerned, there was a total income tax due for 2016 amounting to 757.6 million. For 2017, the total income tax due 195.8 million. 2018, total income tax due 163.95 million. For 2019, 203.26 million. Creditable withholding tax. Can you show
BIR official, is this what ABS-CBN paid?
Your Honor, the total income tax due is based or was based on the minimum corporate income tax of the taxpayer for that particular year. However, there are several creditable withholding tax which they used during that specific year. Like for instance, for 2016, there was an excess. There was an excess tax credit of 63.35 million, 357.65 million for 2017, and 669.78 million for
There was what,
2018.
Mr. Chair?
and
Mr. Chair, I didn't hear that.
Yes, Your Honor.
There was what?
Excess tax credit for that particular years.
Okay.
For 2016, there was an excess tax credit of 63.35 million, meaning the creditable withholding tax of ABS-CBN for 2016 is more than the amount of income tax that they are supposed to pay.
Excess,
And so on.
Mr. Chair, excess po ito, no? Excess ang sinasabi nyo.
Excess
ibig sabihin,
creditable withholding tax.
sobra pa ang ibinayad ng ABS-CBN.
For 2016, ang ibinayad po ng ABS-CBN sa kanilang 757.6 million na income tax due ay withholding tax. Withholding tax. Ito pong withholding tax ay ito po ang winidhold sa kanila ng kanilang mga third parties at ginagamit nila ngayon na pang-offset sa kanilang income tax due. So in reality, the following year, 2016 or 2017, during the April 15 or so on, ala silang actual cash na binayaran na dahil malami ang kanilang creditable withholding tax.
May I ask, Mr. Chair, that our BIR officials submit these figures, this document to the committee, Mr. Chair?
We already, with all due respect, Your Honor, we already submitted these documents or these slides to the COMSEC at 1:47 p.m. today.
I confirm, Honorable Abante, it is already here. The COMSEC already told us. Thank you, COMSEC.
Can I have a copy of that, please?
It is still with the Committee Secretary.
So that
yes.
I will be able to understand, me not being a lawyer, I'd like to be able to understand that, no? Next question, Mr. BIR. Ano ang effective tax rate ng ABS-CBN o yung kabuuang pangkalahatang tax rate ninyo na ibinayad sa gobyerno na kontribusyon sa kaban ng bayan? Ito ay para malaman natin sa bawat piso na kanilang natanggap, magkano nito ang itinabi para sa kaban ng bayan. 10% ba bawat piso? 15% bawat piso? Ano po ba ang effective tax rate ng ABS-CBN?
Your Honor, good afternoon, Your Honor. For the year 2016, the effective income tax rate of ABS-CBN was 3.12%. 3.12%. For 2017, hindi na po makuha. Medyo masyadong maliit. For 2018, hindi na din na po nakuha. Masyado rin pong maliit in terms of percentage, Your Honor. Using NTRC formula. But as far as ETR based on MCIT due, for 2017, 0.86% only, 0.86. And for 2018, 0.72%, Your Honor. Less than 1%, Your Honor.
Now, sa kabuuang holdings ng ABS-CBN, may mga kumpanya.
Mr. Chair, Your Honors, unfortunately, we were able to secure only waiver from ABS-CBN Corporation. We cannot divulge all other figures pertaining to the subsidiaries of ABS-CBN Corporation.
Can you please repeat that, Mr. Chair? Can you please repeat that? Medyo dahan-dahanin mo lang yung sinasabi mo.
Mr. Chair, good afternoon again. With all due respect, we were able to secure clearance or authorization only from ABS-CBN Corporation. So for all other subsidiaries of ABS-CBN Corporation, we cannot divulge any figure because that is covered by Section 270 of the National Internal Revenue Code, Mr.
Mr. Chairman, with the indulgence of the Minority Leader. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, this problem about the waivers of ABS-CBN will always come back to us unless they execute waivers for every company that is involved in this investigation or the review of their franchise. They know that they have many subsidiaries. Can we have the commitment of Mr. Lopez to have all the waivers ready by tomorrow? At least the CEOs of each company waiving the confidentiality requirement?
Okay, to clarify, Minority Floor Leader, kasi po kagabi, nung sa ABS-CBN, hiningan po ng BIR because there's a statute para mag-divulge. Kanina po, yung ABS-CBN Holdings, hiningan din po. So, ang sinasabi ni Honorable Remulla, kung maaari, lahat na ho ng mga subsidiary companies, isang waiver na lang, blanket, para naman pagka nagtatanong po kayo, katulad ngayon, hindi na po tayo bumabalik sa mga paghingi ng authorization.
Mr. Chair, can I be recognized, Mr. Chair?
Who is talking? May I?
Okay lang, okay lang.
This is from BIR. Mr.
Yes,
Chair.
yes, yes.
Can I be recognized?
Assistant Commissioner Mapoy, go ahead.
Mr. Chair, with all due respect, each company must execute a waiver, and the person authorized to execute a waiver is either the chairman, the CEO or president, or the treasurer. Any ranking official lower than those positions are not allowed to execute a waiver.
Salamat po, Assistant Commissioner Mapoy. Yes,
Your Honor, may I request that our CEO be recognized on Zoom to address this question?
Mr. Katigbak?
Mr. Carlo Katigbak.
Yes, Mr. Katigbak is in Zoom. Mr. Katigbak is recognized, sir.
Yes, Mr. Chair, last night we were allowed to give a verbal waiver on the confidentiality of ABS-CBN's tax information. So if that is continued to be allowed by the BIR, then the chairman, Mark Lopez, and I agree to waive confidentiality for all ABS-CBN subsidiaries.
Commissioner Mapoy, ang inihingi po ni Mr. Katigbak, okay, may verbal waiver po sila at isasubmit nila yung official documents for this purpose. Okay na po ba yun na Assistant Commissioner Mapoy?
Yeah, with all due respect, Mr. Chair, ang nasa tax code po kasi ay chairman, CEO, or treasurer of each corporation. If the uniform chairman of all Lopez Group of Companies is Mr. Lopez himself, then he should issue one waiver each.
Opo, yun nga po, binibigay niya po yung waiver niya for those companies that he is chairman and president. In that case, to follow po yung mga documentation para hindi naman po kayo maipit.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Salamat po. Yes, go ahead, Minority Floor Leader.
Thank you. Sa kabuuang holdings ng ABS-CBN, may mga company kayo, ABS-CBN, na may tax incentive, di ba? At meron kayong company na nagbabayad ng 30% income tax rate. Anybody would be able to answer that?
Your Honor, earlier po, pinag-usapan po namin ang Big Dipper, ang isang PESA-registered enterprise na subsidiary ng ABS-CBN that is taxed at 5% of gross income po.
Okay, now, I'm referring to the effective tax rate. Ang hinihingi ko para maging simple ang usapan natin dito sa ating BIR official. Sa kabuuang halaga ng taunang natatanggap ninyo na revenues para sa operation ng ABS-CBN, magkano nito ang humigit kumulang na isinasantabi para sa buwis?
Sorry, Your Honor, I thought you were referring to the BIR. Could you kindly repeat the question?
Yung effective tax rate, no? That's what I'm asking. Sa kabuuang halaga, overall na halaga nito, ng taunang natatanggap ninyo na revenues para sa operation ng ABS-CBN, how much humigit kumulang na isinasantabi para sa tax?
Your Honor, we paid the proper taxes. So wala pong kumulang.
Walang kulang?
Wala po.
Okay. All right. Sa inyong palagay, ABS-CBN, magkano na po bang naibayad na buwis ang ABS-CBN sa Kaban ng Bayan mula 2016 to 2019?
Your Honor, meron po ako rito na 2015 to 2018. Ang binayad po namin kabuuang taxes ay 24.6 billion.
20.6 billion.
24.6 billion po.
Okay. If we will compare this with the tax that GMA7 and TV5 paid sa parehong taon, no? Para malinaw ang comparison. Alright? At makita natin ang kabuuang context nito. Kung hindi ninyo masasagot ito ngayon, bigyan natin yung committee ng kabuuang kaukulang memorandum hingil dito at ikumpara natin ang mga pangkalahatang buwis ng bawat istasyon kumpara sa ABS-CBN. Can we do that?
Your Honor, at this point po, hindi po kasi namin alam ang kabuuang taxes na binabayad ng GMA at TV5. Ang taxes po na makikita sa financial statements ay limited lamang po sa income tax, lalo na po pag consolidated. So hindi po namin magagawa yung comparison. Hindi po namin alam ang total. Kasi po meron pong income tax, value added tax, at saka iba po pong taxes.
Your Honor, if I may add, ABS-CBN is quite a different company from GMA. We have significant international operations where we're able to reach millions of Filipinos, and we pay taxes in the respective jurisdictions in which we're present. So in terms of total revenues, we derive about 15% of our total revenues from the international operations. So dun po binabayad yung buwis. We also have a very high reinvestment rate because we try again to cater to the needs of the customer here and abroad. And as you can see from our recent digitization and DTT initiatives where we have sold more than 9.5 million TV Plus boxes. We're trying to invest for the future po. And I think that's one of the unique things with us. Not every business makes money. Sometimes it takes a while to be profitable. Sometimes it loses money. So, but we're not afraid to invest to try to reach a Filipino market and serve the Filipinos.
Tipid, ma'am. Ang ginawa lang palusot dito, exporter siya. But in reality, they are not exporting, ma'am. Why? It is not a product nor service that they created in this country. Produkto natin ito na dinigitize lang pagkatapos isesend sa Luxembourg or sa Hungary, yung pong kumpanya na yun is 100% ABS-CBN subsidiary. Nakita niyo po ba? Sasabihin natin ngayon, tax avoidance po ito eh. Legal po ito eh. Pag tax avoidance kasi, nakikinig yung ating assistant BIA. Commissioner, legal naman yun eh. Kasi ang illegal yata is tax evasion, Kongboying. Madam, what is moral is always legal. What is legal is not necessarily moral. Do you agree?
Yes po.
Okay. Alam po ba ninyo kung bakit binabanggit ko ito? Ito pa pala, bago ako pumunta doon sa pangalawang dako. Kapag nag-declare po ng dividends para sa ABS-CBN,
may I recognize your chair to make my comment to the...
Move to suspend, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing suspended for a few minutes.
Mr. Chairman, with your indulgence, session resume. Doon lang po sa representative ng ABS-CBN kasi po oras po to ni Congressman Marcoleta, but you have signified your intent to speak and we have noted that, but it would depend on the Honorable Congressman kung ano po ang direksyon ng kanyang pagtatanong at kung sino po ang kanyang tatanungin. So, Mr. Speaker, with your indulgence, may we continue with the interpellation of the Honorable Marcoleta?
Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Please proceed po, Deputy Speaker Marcoleta.
Hindi po ba, sino po yung gustong mag-react kanina sa inyo?
From ABS-CBN po, Congressman.
Sige, sa inyo ko na lang po itanong ito. Hindi po ba napakalaking kabawasan sa buwis ng Big Dipper sapagkat imbes na net income o yung taxable income ang tinitignan natin dito ay yung gross income na lang na kung saan doon ibabase yung 5%. As a matter of fact, napapulusot nga rito yung gross revenue sapagkat hindi naman po foreign entity yung bumibili. Foreign entity po ba yung ABS-CBN subsidiary? Di po ba 100% na pag-aari yun ng ABS-CBN? Do you consider that as a foreign entity?
Your Honor, you're correct. It's a 100% owned subsidiary of ABS-CBN.
Yes. Is it considered a foreign entity?
Yes, Your Honor. May I continue, Your Honor, just to clarify some of the...
ABS-CBN owns it 100%. Is ABS-CBN a foreign entity?
No, Your Honor.
Oh, ay paano naging foreign entity yun?
Your Honor, may I clarify a few of the points?
No. Yun ang nga yung sinasabi ko kayong gustong sumagot pagkatas hindi mo naman pala masagot Ganito po yun Kaya ko po binibigyan ng malaking punto yung Big Dipper. Mr. Chair, kahit na po napakahirap talaga dahil to ay puro numero, si Congressman Barsaga lang naman ang mahilig gumawa ng mga tables ng numbers na ito. Kasi nung nagte-training po ako sa Harvard, Mr. Chair, si Kong Barsaga, professor doon Ito po kasi napakarami po ng binigyan na financial...
Kaya po nagkakaiba po yung parent tsaka po consolidated kasi po sa parent wala po yung international revenue niya, nasa subsidiaries po niya.
Alam ko po yun. Papasok na po tayo dahil dito na po. Ito yung nakikita ko dito yung influensya ng Big Dipper. In 2001, consolidated revenues 9,741,191,000. Parent company ABS-CBN 9,097,368,000. Ang difference 643,823,000. Ito lang muna ang natin. Merong difference talaga. If you want to confirm that. 2002, hindi ko nababanggitin po yung revenues ng dalawang column na ito. You can check your records. Ang difference po in 2003, Mr. Chair, 910,800,000. Dito po nag-umpisa yung tinatawag na restatement. Dito po ay nag-a-apply na po yung new and updated financial accounting standards o yung tinatawag ninyong international accounting standards. Baka gusto po ninyong ma-recall. Ngayon, dito po sa 2003, ang difference po ng consolidated at saka yung parent revenue, papalaki na po ng papalaki ito 972,238,000. Noon pong 2004, ito na po, 1,077,759,000. Ito po yung mas malaki. 2005, ang difference na po ng dalawang revenues, consolidated and parent revenue, 17,047,076,000. nakakapagtaka po, itong taon na ito, wala po kayong nireflect na revenue sa ABS-CBN. 2005. Bakit po?
Let me just check lang po the financial statements, but parang hindi naman po maangyayari na walang revenue ang ABS-CBN.
Pakicheck po ninyo kasi po, hindi naman po ako accountant. Kayo, kinuha ko lang po naman ang financial statement ninyo.
Your Honor, hanapin ko lang po yung files ko ng
Sige po,
2000.
habang hinahanap ninyo, sa isang assistant na lang po niyo, tuloy ko na po ito.
Apo.
Balikan na lang po natin kung mahanap po ninyo. Okay lang po yun? Noon naman pong 2006, Mr. Chair, ang difference between the consolidated revenue at saka yung revenue po reported ng ABS-CBN, 6 billion 412,490,000 pesos. Dito po nagsisimulang makita ko na po yung mga discrepancies sa comparison po ng previous financial statement. Kagaya po ng observation din ni Kong Barsaga kanina, Mr. Chair. Tingnan po ninyo yung pagkumparahan po ninyo yung dalawang financial statement. Meron po kayong discrepancy. 2007, Mr. Chair, ang difference between the consolidated revenues reported at saka po yung parent, which is ABS-CBN, 6,524,632,000. And then 2008, Mr. Chair, the difference is 9,790,821,000 pesos. (2009), Mr. Chair, ito na po yung medyo malaki-laki na naman. 11,445,397. Dito po na-incorporate yung ABS-CBN Hungary at saka yung registration po ng Big Dipper sa PESA. Itong 2009 po. Year 2010, Mr. Chair, ang difference between the two reported revenues, 11,640,763,000. 2011 po, the difference between the two sets of revenues, 11,137,079,000. Dito po makikita ang mga discrepancies, yung comparison po ng previous financial statements ninyo. Madali naman pong makita yun dahil sa kayo naman pong gumawa nito. 2012, the difference between the two revenues, Mr. Chair, 13,213,104,000. Meron na naman pong discrepancy ron. 2013, 15,085,710,000. 2014, Mr. Chair, 14,954,816,000. Napakaraming pera po nito, Mr. Chair. 2015, 16,466,743,000. 2016, 17,155,859,000. 2017, 17,932,329,000. 2018, ito po yung last 2 years ago. The difference between the two sets of revenues, another 17,373,924,000. Ito pong nakita kong differences, Mr. Chair. Itong 15 years lamang na ito na binabanggit kanina ni Kong Sarate, sayang wala na po siya rito. Na ang sinasabi po kasi nila, nagbayad daw sila ng taxes total of 71.5 billion pesos for 17 years. Pero ito po, 15 years lang ang kinukwenta ko. At sa difference lang, Mr. Chair, 186 billion po ang difference. So kahit na po siguro nagbayad sila ng 100 billion, Mr. Chair, matitira pang 86 billion. Ito po yung, Mr. ABS-CBN, sarili po ninyong financial statements ito eh. Hindi ko po ginawa ito eh. Bakit po, kung halimbawa po, sabihin na lang natin 30% CIT. Ito, preliminary lang naman po ito. May plus or minus, whatever. Kung halimbawa, ang pagbabasihan natin, yung consolidated revenues po ninyo, sapagkat doon naman yung, nandun lahat ang subsidiaries nyo, edi dapat noong 2016, Mr. Chair, ang bayad ninyo ng tax, 12.49 billion pesos sana. Noong 2018 naman, ang binayaran nyo sana, 12.21 billion. At noong 2018 pala, teka, nagkabaligtad to. 2017, 12.4 billion at noong 2018, 12.21 billion. Sa makatwid, Mr. Chair, kasi po kahapon merong illustration si Congressman Barsaga. Between 2016 and 2019, sabi po nila, ang naibayad yata nila. Ngayon, binago nila, ngayon ko lang nakita, 2016 to 2018, 24.6 billion po ang binayad ninyong taxes. Tama po yun? Pero kung kukwentahin ko po rito ngayon, dapat ang binayaran nyo 36.7 billion.
Maaari po bang sumagot?
O, bibigyan ko po kayo ng pagkakataong sumagot. Ipaliwanag ko lamang po na sa akin po kasing palagay, Mr. Chair, itong differences na sinasabi ko, which amounted to an aggregate amount to 186 billion, ang posibilidad po kasi ay pagpasok po ng Big Dipper at saka yung mga tax shields through corporate layering ay nagamit. Then these additional revenues would have been reported by the parent company being subjected to the regular corporate income tax sana of 30%. Yung discrepancy pong nakikita ko kanina doon sa year-to-year basis ng financial statements, Mr. Chair, these are figures reported in the current year which are not the same figures reported in the previous years. Base po sa inyong financial statement kasi ito eh. So, hindi po ako may problema. Tiningnan ko lang po yung financial statements. You wanted to react?
Kung maipapaliwanag ko lamang po the difference po between a parent company financial statements and a consolidated financial statements. Ang bawat subsidiary po ng ABS-CBN, may sarili-sarili po siyang financial statements na fina-file po sa BIR at nagbabayad po ng sarili-sarili nilang taxes. Ang consolidated financial statements po is a representation of the aggregated business of ABS-CBN and its subsidiaries. Under the Philippine Financial Reporting Standards, there is a difference between accounting for a parent company financial statements and a consolidated financial statements, which I will not go through anymore. But in essence po, each of the company in the consolidated financial statements prepared their own standalone financial statements, prepared their standalone income tax return, and paid po their respective taxes based on the financial statements and income tax return that was prepared. And then for financial reporting po, under the PFRS or Philippine Financial Reporting Statements, these are consolidated for representation of the operations of the group. So yung taxes po in the consolidated financial statements cannot be based on the consolidated net income because this is a combination of independent operations of each company that prepares their independent financial statements and prepare their separate income tax return. So ang sinasabi ko po, ang ABS-CBN Corporation po halimbawa ay may subsidiary na Sky Cable. Ang Sky Cable po ay gumawa ng sarili niyang financial statements, gumawa po ng sarili niyang income tax return at nagbayad po ng taxes para sa kinita niya. At ganon din po yung iba-ibang kumpanya ng ABS-CBN. Mari po kayong magtanong kung bakit po maraming kumpanya na involved sa ABS-CBN. It's because po, iba-iba po ang operations ng bawat kumpanya. Ang ABS-CBN po is broadcasting at content production. Ang Sky Cable naman po is in pay TV business. Meron po kayong makikita dyan na ABS-CBN Films Productions Inc., who's into the business of producing film, which prepares also po their separate financial statements and pays po its income tax. So technically po, bawat kumpanya na isinasama sa consolidated financial statements had paid its corresponding taxes po. So yung consolidation po is simply a aggregation and a representation of the combined business if this is taken as one po. And that is a requirement po under PFRS, which is required po by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Medyo po mas salimuot lang po yung consolidation process.
That is your answer.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, but you will be trapped in your own contradiction because kung totoo po yung pangangatwiran ninyo, bakit naman noong 1999, consolidated po ito, mga subsidiaries po rin ito. Pareho naman ang inyong consolidated revenues at yung consolidated revenue ng ABS-CBN Corporation. In 1998, ganun din. Nireport din yung subsidiaries din. Hindi pinag-iwahiwalay ka mga ng pagkakapaliwanag nyo. Naintindihan ko po yung paliwanag na yun. Ang problema, paano nyo ipaliliwanag ngayon, magmula po noong 1993 hanggang 1999, maliwanag na 7 taon ang pinag-uusapan natin, parehong-pareho po yung consolidated at saka yung parent company. Pagkatapos bigla kayong magsasabi ngayon sa kalagitnaan ng ating pag-uusap na ito iba naman po ang ginagawa nito, iba ang ginagawa ni ganon. Wala pong consistency ang inyong pagpapaliwanag.
I would surmise po that is actually a
You would
result.
what?
I would ang masasabi ko po ay ito po ay gawa ng evolution po ng accounting standards dito sa Pilipinas. Sa patuloy po na to improve the financial reporting in the Philippines, there are a lot of accounting standards that are implemented.
So
that
may
on a year-on-year
may
po,
kasalanan po ba
nag-iiba
nito
po siya
the
ng
evolution of the accounting standards?
nag-iiba-iba po ang requirements sa pag-prepare ng consolidated financial statements at ng parent company financial statements.
Pero kung
At
mag-evolve po siguro,
isa pa po, noong panahon po ng 1993 to 1999, mas maliit po ang operations ng ABS-CBN sa iba-ibang mga businesses. Kaya po, kung papansinin niyo po, halos ang nag-ooperate ng malaki ay yung parent company which is presented as parent. Kaya po, siguro nung na-consolidate, parang wala pong difference.
yun po yung assumption, hindi ba?
I would assume po kasi...
Yun nga po, assumption lamang po ninyo yun.
I would read it that way po.
Yun nga po, assumption po ninyo yun. Tama?
Sige po.
Okay. Pero iba naman po kasi yung assumption ko
Naiintindihan ko po.
Okay, salamat po. Sapagkat sa aking assumption po kasi, hindi naman magiging dahilan yung evolution ng accounting standards. Kaya naman po ginagawa yung evolution na yan para mapadali ang gawain, para hindi maitago kung ano yung dapat na itago. Kasi po, nakaka-intriga, 186 billion pesos na dati naman hindi naman po nagkakaiba itong parent company, biglang nagkaroon po ng mga discrepancy in your financial statements. Earlier, wala po akong nakita. Pagkatapos nung dumating po yung panahon ng Big Dipper, dito po talaga, and then I assume that Big Dipper was utilized really, heavily utilized para ma-understate po ang inyong pagbabayad ng taxes. As a matter of fact, kung nakikinig po yung taga-BIR, meron po kong hawak na Excel file, Mr. BIR, that show that Big Dipper was basically used as a subterfuge to cover up earnings and be taxed at a lower rate. Given the inferences, well, this is my assumption, right? Kasi po, napakalaki po nung group revenue kung ikukumpara doon sa parent. Kung ang pinag-uusapan lang po siguro is 10% of this 186 billion, I would have easily sided with you. Pero kung napakalaking ganito po, and then makikita natin itong mga discrepancies, and then you departed from what you used to do earlier, isa lang po ang may isip namin dito na talagang merong nangyaring takipan dito. I will provide the BIR of the Excel file. Meron naman po ako nito para lalo po nating makita kung sino pong assumptions ang kung yung assumption po ng ABS-CBN o ang assumption ng representasyong ito ang mananaig sa bandang uli.
Pwede po bang magsalita?
What is it?
Gusto ko lang pong sabihin na wala po kaming tinatago at hindi po namin ginamit ang Big Dipper para po mag-avoid ng taxes. As a matter of fact po, it is disclosed in the financial statements and it's available in our website and it's filed po with the SEC and the PSE, and we have full disclosure po of the transactions and how it is organized and how it was operated po. Yun lang po.
It is not what you believe. It is what you can prove in this hearing.